What's the most embarrassing / cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone? Or something they accidentally saw while using your phone or computer? Oh god. My internet was down. Had to have the Bell alien guy come to fix it. When it was fixed he asked me to just check it was working properly. So I refreshed a tab and it instantly opened the porn I was watching before the internet died. As a 21-year-old woman, that was the most horrifically embarrassing moment of my life. He then said, "Is there anything else you need?" And I became worried I was living in the plot of the world's most cliché porn. The unexpected ending made me smile. My fiancée was sending me some sexy nudes on Snapchat one day. She had a bit too much to drink by this time. I got all of them. But so did one of her sisters and a few she accidentally posted to her story. Luckily one of her female friends saw it and told her so she could delete them before anyone else saw them. Her sister snapped her back a thumbs up that said, "Didn't want to see that. But hey, nice vac. Lol." She was incredibly embarrassed naturally, and it took a while before I got saucy pics again. I was kind of on the flip side of this when my uncle was going through pictures of my baby cousin on his phone and swiped too far to show me a picture of my auntie standing completely naked in a doorway. The image is still burned into my mind. Oh man, that's traumatizing lol. At least it's not his dad. Why would his uncle have naked pics of his dad? Oh. During college my girlfriend worked night shifts, so I would sometimes crash at her place, that way I'd be there when she got off in the mornings. One night our roommates had a few people over to drink and I, being alone, decided to crank one out. Spent about 3 to 5 minutes watching some material, wondering why the audio wouldn't work on my phone. Then I hear an eruption of laughter from the kitchen. It was a small apartment. Turns out I was the last one that connected to the Bluetooth speaker they were using and was blasting my porn audio to an apartment full of people. I have never been so embarrassed in my life, and I laid there for what felt like an eternity afterwards listening to them all die laughing. Heard enough stories about this scenario where I always turn my Bluetooth off before I watch porn. I do now. Trust me, once you do it once, you never let it happen again. A friend was showing us his holiday pictures and accidentally swiped too far and showed us all a selfie of his asshole, then one of his balls, when he tried to fix it. One of my friends sent a picture of his asshole and nuts to a Snapchat group, and in return another guy sent one back. I've seen photos of the ball sacks of more friends of mine than I'm fully comfortable with due to stuff like this. The same friend who sent it first actually showed us his nutsack out of the blue. Funny enough, he later asked us would we be surprised if he came out to us, all 5 guys in the group. I shit you not, said no at the same time. Did he come out? I was helping a man with some kind of intellectual impairment download a Bible app onto his phone. I had to go into his browser to search something for him, and it was all porn. About 50 tabs open, each showing what term he'd put into Google, and the search terms were the kind that a 10-year-old would use. I finished getting him the app and attempted to peace out, although not before having to tactfully decline giving him my phone number. When I sold cell phones, there was a guy that always came into the store. He had a picture of a girl spread eagle as his lock screen wallpaper. He always tried to get one of the female salespeople to help him. After the first time he came in, they would all run to the back. When we saw him walking up, myself and the other guys would have to listen to him about the hot little piece of ass he had the day prior. Working in mobile, this happened all the time. People accidentally opening certain sites, sending inappropriate pictures or texts to people that they want deleted. One time I had a lady who was furious because her son racked up over $100 on their bill just from Tinder. I remember a lady who came in the store screaming her head off. She had $500 in over ages. I looked at the data usage and 90% of it was her son's phone. He was there and she made him give me his phone. Nearly all the data was from the browser. It was so awkward because I knew what he was doing. The mom had no clue and I didn't want to blow up the kid's spot. Old man caught me looking at boobs on my phone during a bus ride home. I quickly scrolled up, realizing that I was in public. He leaned over and said, "Hey, we can share." Got off 3 stops before my own. The guy probably thought it was hilarious. The old dude just wanted to show off photos of his own boobs. My partner showed his friend some pictures from a vacation years ago, and he scrolled too far back, and he accidentally showed them my nudes. I was 5 feet away and died. The fact you were standing right there makes it 10 times worse, lol. Yee. I was panicky after. Had the minister of my church at my house. He wanted to upload music from his laptop onto my Zoom. Tells you when this was. He turns it on and the Zoom immediately displays a topless picture of my fiancée. A girl he's known since birth, having been best friends with her parents. He just clears his throat and says, "I didn't see that." The rest of my time with him that day was incredibly awkward, but he never brought it back up again. Edit. To clear up any confusion, the picture was on my Zoom that I had taken. The pastor knew nothing about it prior to seeing it. Thought you meant the picture originally came from his laptop. This is what I thought initially. I had to go back and reread. Same, I read it like 4 times. The relief when I realized I read it wrong, hahaha. That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life. And of course we were showing one another pictures of our families / houses / friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos, because then she can just open albums and see each person, or whatever, all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty, and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics. When I handed it over, she closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, "Oh." She told her fiancé we got to know one another really well in that first meeting. I already touched on that, lol. Google Photos really needs to fix their shit, hahaha. Like allow albums to be password protected with no thumbnails. Right. It's almost enough to make me stop, you see. Who am I kidding? I'm their puppet. Good damn it. Not exactly accidental, but when I was 15 my mom was snooping through my phone and found a text that said, "I wish I could have a girl with boobs so big I could suffocate in them. That was a cool fun time for me." What was her reaction? Well, she was looking in my phone cause she thought I was doing drugs, so she was just kind of disappointed that I was a horny little weirdo. LMAO. Not me, but a friend of mine was living with his dad, and they only had one computer in the house. This was 15 plus years ago. My friend was showing his dad how to do something on the computer and they opened up Windows Media Player. Somehow it started playing the last video watched, which was a lesbian porn video that my friend had been watching. Not me, but a friend of mine. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex video streaming software on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies, so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my WoW YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves fucking, and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party, what the fuck is that? Me. Borderline speechless. I have no fucking idea. Apostrophe. Dude I used to lift with, his phone is face up on the floor next to the bench bar. Literally every day at the gym she'd be texting pics of everything. What's funnier is she'd be texting him, "Come home to have this," and he'd just keep lifting. It was odd. I was on the receiving end of seeing something I shouldn't have. Early on when I was working at Geek Squad, a girl and her boyfriend came in with a MacBook saying she was having trouble emptying the recycle bin. Forgetting that Macs don't have a right click button on the trackpad, clicked the right side of the trackpad thinking it would bring up the menu to empty the bin. You have to click with 2 fingers to get the right click options to show. just like a Windows computer, except it didn't. And the trash bin opened. Inside there were dozens of pics of this girl's tits, spread eagle, asshole, everything. I saw everything. The girl was on the other side of the computer and didn't see anything I was doing. But at this point I was freaking the fuck out, and of course the computer froze for what felt like 10 minutes while the trash bin folder was still open, showing all her nudes. During this time, the girl's extremely muscular, juiced out boyfriend walked up asking her how things were going. Once he asked, she started grabbing the computer to turn it towards her. Thankfully by the time she grabbed the laptop, I was able to close out and empty the trash bin. She asked how much it would be. I told her no charge and went on my way. I went into the back and my boss said I looked like I had just seen a ghost. I told him what happened and he was just laughing at me the rest of the day. Bet you learned how Macs work real quick. Huh, yep, I did. Ooh, divine intervention saved you on that one. In college I had a crush on a guy whose name was 4 letters. I set it as my phone passcode. When I was home for break, my brother took my phone and started teasing me about liking this guy. Then he tried to unlock my phone using his name as the passcode. It worked. I didn't show this, but it was shown to me. I worked at a fast food chain as their it guy, but started in one of the stores in the chain and was known by all of the elderly regulars there. One of them asks me for help with something on his phone, accessing his email or something to that effect, and I instructed him to open his web browser on his phone and search for something. The very first autofill response that came up was I accidentally impregnated my stepdaughter. Edit. For those that are curious, I unfortunately do not know if he did, in fact, impregnate his stepdaughter. I wonder if old people do this on purpose just to mess with us. Was talking to some cute girl. It was going well, and gave her my phone to add me on Facebook. Her profile was the first profile on the recent Facebook searches. I was at a pool party and someone asked if they could use my iPod for the music. I obliged. He found a playlist with some songs he liked and put it in. I didn't realize it when the music started, but about halfway through making that particular playlist I experienced some heartache. So suddenly the pool party heard Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. I ran out of the pool and was like, oh, how'd that happen? Weird, and put in some metal. Smooth. If it happened today I'd just turn it and laugh, but 17 to 18-year-old me was embarrassed.